Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You are listening to Whisk and Wonder Presents Savory Moments podcast. I'm your host, Chef Erica Ashmeade, also known as Cookbook Fanatic in these social media streets. On today's episode of Savory Moments, I sit down with Chef RJ Jenkins. He is a fresh culinary school grad who is already making waves with his private dining company called Smoke and Roses Personal Chef Services, which is based out of my hometown, Richmond, Virginia. From culinary classrooms to curating intimate dining experience for his clients, we want to hear Chef RJ's story, how his vision came to life, and how he came up with giving food urban with a touch of elegance. So Chef RJ, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. So I do want to let everybody know that just because Richmond is my hometown, I did not know Chef RJ. It was just a happenstance that I saw his page when I'm scrolling on Facebook, and Smoke and Roses is what caught my eye. I was like, oh, okay, all right, he's doing something over here. So I just friended him, and there we sparked a friendship, a business friendship where, I was offering my services. We were talking here and there. So I'm just thankful to be in community with other chefs. That way we can all give each other a voice out here. Okay, not just the upper echelon chefs that can be interviewed. We all have a voice about our food story. If you could just tell us a little bit more about you and let us know what inspired you to pursue culinary.
I'm Chef RJ. I'm from Richmond originally. I'm from South Side of Richmond. I come from a family. My mother's Italian. She's from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in that type of lifestyle. So a lot of fresh breads, fresh pastas, fresh sauces. I'm gonna say this, from my background, culinary has been like my saving grace in life. So like it's brought me pretty far, not just business wise or like financial wise, just as a man, as a chef, even as a person.
Mhm.
It brought me to do a lot of new things, interact with a lot of new people.
Mhm.
So what inspired me to be a chef was actually my mother.
Oh, wow.
When I was like 5 years old, she put me on the counter, and like I was helping her flip pancakes and everything. And then when I
Mhm.
turned 14, my brother actually brought me into the trade. He's a chef as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So 14, started washing dishes, and
Mhm.
worked my way up to prep, then line, and then I became his sous chef part-time for his businesses, his private events.
Oh,
So then I just took it off from there. I wanted to do my own thing, bring a different type of story with food than,
yeah.
than the stereotypical just, burgers and fries. Like, no, I want to
Yeah.
bring a little something different, a little new twist to Richmond, especially. And Richmond, we got a big food scene,
Yes.
so I was like, let me. So what I used to do also would help me become a chef was I would go to different restaurants and kind of see how people interacted with certain foods, like, and that's just from there. And I've enjoyed every bit of it ever since.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, thanks, Mom. So, Smoke and Roses. You got to tell me how you came up with that name.
So I know it's gonna sound crazy. I was actually getting into I was talking to a bartender friend of mine, and they were talking about drinks with roses and the smoke, and I said, huh,
Mm.
smoke and roses. And I kept thinking on it, and I was like, smoke and roses. At first I was the gentleman chef. So like, basically where that came from was like kind of my, how do I put it, my personality. It's not arrogant. It's very, even if I'm cooking for clients, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir,
Right.
no, sir. I'm trying to bring a elegance.
Right.
And, if you think of like old 1920s, 1930s, gentlemen, nice suits, and, like the
Yeah.
button ups with the pocket watch,
Yep.
that's kind of what I don't always cook in a chef coat. Sometimes I'll have a button up or the shirt and tie with the vest.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. And then I'm like, smoking roses. what's more elegant than a rose? What's more mysterious
Absolutely.
than, smoke behind roses? I'm like, smoking roses.
Wow.
So, and what that does also when I introduce my cooking, it gives that elegant but mysterious because you never know what I might come up with when I present you a menu.
Yeah.
And then it might sound weird, but then when I cook it for you and the smells and the taste, you're like, wow, that's mysterious because I've never seen that before.
Right.
So that's kind of where that came in. And then the roses is the elegance. Like I love the plating. I make sure everything's nice and clean. I
Mhm.
don't do smudges. Like I try to,
That's right.
and as your chef, we eat with our eyes.
Yes.
So I want it when I play it to you, I don't want it all over the place. I want
Yeah.
it nice and pretty. But then it's that, this smells so good and it looks good. But the mysterious, like what this tastes, because he done took two ingredients I've never thought could pair together
Mhm.
and make it work.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from.
So a magic trick.
Basically, chef's magic trick.
That's beautiful. I love it. Because I told you that was the first thing that caught my eye was your business page on your cover. So, what type of food and what type of experience are you looking to provide every time you go and work with a client? What exactly are you hoping to the memory? What memory are you looking to leave with them?
So just my personality, like that fun, very laid back, elegant, nothing too like. So I've noticed a lot of chefs like don't interact with their clients. I love interacting with my clients, like, hey, come try this. Hey, come smell this. And that friendly, like humble, but that experience where I want them to feel a part of my journey to bring them a style of cooking that they've never seen,
Mhm.
or just that feeling of an experience that not a lot of people can afford.
Right.
Because when people think of chef services, they think, oh, like it's just catering. No, 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 no.
Right.
Like I want to bring you plated wine, music. Like even I did a client as for just a quick client, and I actually had jazz music playing in the background.
Ah.
So, I wanted them to feel at home.
Mhm.
Of course they're home, but it's like they're in that mode where they're singing, they're relaxing, they're just vibing to the music. But then like I've noticed certain smells trigger a calmness in the brain. So like, it's like, man, this is so relaxing. I don't have to worry about nothing. I had a rough day, but food smells good. The chef is nice. Like that presentation of not just my food, but me. Like
Right.
I'm not coming in arrogant, not trying to bulldoze my way through your home. I want to interact with you. I want you to experience what I'm about to bring to you. Just a little
Right.
bit at a time. And then once you finally get that final plate
Mm-hmm.
and you taste the food, it's like, okay, like you're there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Almost like a speakeasy vibe, like a speakeasy vibe.
Yes, that's exactly what I get from it. And, I've noticed that a lot of private dining chefs, they forget about, okay, yeah, I have to go to this client's home and make a meal. But in all reality, for you to turn over clientele, you're also providing ambiance. Their house is now your restaurant where you are the executive chef and you need to be on point in all areas. So that's food, that's plating, that's how you make them feel from the time you enter to the time you leave, and the ambiance. You got that under control.
And then communication as well. That's a big one that I've
Definitely.
noticed a lot of people lack is like me. No, I'm gonna communicate with you. Like
Yeah.
come talk to me. Don't be scared. Like,
Hmm.
if I feel like something's like too hot, like no, but still come talk, interact with me because they learn my personality. I learn what they like, what they don't like, because you never know when you might come back. And
Yeah.
even if I have people help me, like if I have another sous come with me, or I have even as like a server interact with them, laugh with them, joke with them, like, because I want them to enjoy them. I
Hmm.
want them to enjoy us. I want to enjoy them. And then when everybody leaves, we're all smiles.
Yes, exactly. Wow, that's beautiful. So, how exactly would you describe your cooking style?
Okay. I know ooh, mine went blank. So originally started with Italian. So that rustic, home cooked style meal, because like I said, I grew up with fresh breads, fresh sauces, pastas were fresh.
Right.
And then I learned a lot of the Italian style cooking, but then I took it and I was like, what can make me different? So
Mm-hmm.
I started taking different ingredients and tasting them together and then putting them with a protein or a salad or even in a drink. I
Hmm.
wanted to see what can
Yeah.
work and what can, because everyone's so used to, oh, an Alfredo, this is this and this and this,
Right.
tomato sauce is this and this. Like, no, let me switch it up a little bit. So even with brunch food, like a lot of people love brunch. For an example, I took whiskey, white peaches, cinnamon, nutmeg, and I made like a stuffing for French toast, but I also took that same sauce and made a glaze.
Wow.
A lot of people like feel alcohol is your big thing too. We're used to wine, like white wine, red wine, vodka, triple sec, like for the bananas Fosters, things like that. So, I'm like, let me be different. Like even with I've used rum a few times, like for certain things, and it creates a different experience. So it's that mysterious. Like you see me come cooking, all of a sudden you see me break out a bottle of
Yeah.
Bacardi, and you're like, what are you gonna do with that? And I was like, yeah. Uh, uh, Let me keep you guessing, but it's that mysteriousness that brings my cooking style to life.
Wow.
And then it's the flavors like coconut milk, and I've used a mango chili rum, and that actually turned out pretty well.
Wow.
And I made drunken mussels, and that turned out pretty well.
Oh, you stop playing. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that was an interesting experience. That was a very humbling experience because mussels, mussels are not easy really to work with.
Yeah.
And it was just fun to work with that, and I enjoyed myself doing that. So my cooking style, to answer your question, is it's not all over the place. It's mysterious, but it's that flavors that keep you guessing. Like I smell this, but
Right.
it's this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mysterious cooking style, but it fits me in the ambiance that I try to bring into my clients, and it
Right.
works. So it works very well.
That's beautiful to be able to appeal to all the senses for your client. That's how you create memories. Wow. Okay. So I do want to know, where do you draw inspiration from? Like, do you have any famous chefs that because you did mention your brother, but are there any other inspirations out there?
So, one of my inspirations also is my mentor. He's in Cali. He was a bartender turned hibachi chef.
Oh,
Of course, Gordon Ramsay, of course.
yeah, the king.
Yep. But even like in school, like they showed us back to I'm gonna say like just to the OGs of culinary, like the French chefs and the where it all started when they like them type of I can't remember a lot of the names, sorry.
It's okay.
But like just that type of finesse, like even like little things. But then with Gordon, it was that drive,
Mhm.
like that presentation. He thrives off of presentation because if he looks at it, he's not gonna eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a big one. But I would say I follow him a lot, and then my mentor. But my brother is the one. He's my big inspiration
Mhm.
because like he's been doing it a long time,
Right.
and he showed me from the time I started washing dishes to prep, just kind of what to do and what
Mhm.
not to do. But even I'm even gonna say like this, my school chefs. I got two chefs right now that I draw big inspiration from. They're both Italian chefs. One has cooked in France and he's cooked in Jamaica. He's been on like in the all them islands, and then the other one, he's old school New York City chef, like worked those type of
Yeah.
restaurants, where it's, 14, 15-hour days and you're like this far apart from each other. And I draw a lot of inspiration from them because they showed me like you screwed up, but what can you do better? And
Right.
it's like, and my chef, I'll never forget, he told me this. He said, recipes are like life. You're gonna screw up, you're gonna mess up, but it's like now what do you do now that you learn from this? Now
Yeah.
let me give you some advice. This might make it better.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that those are the main ones that I draw inspiration from. And like, believe it or not, even smaller chefs, like chefs from different jobs I've worked for, I pick up something each from each spot
Wow,
I go to.
that's
So,
amazing. So when you're getting your clients' menus together, like what is the process for you to what goes together on a menu, or do you have a meeting, a consultation with them? Do they already come prepared with what they want?
So a lot of times they do come prepared, but people they change their minds.
Yes.
But I do meet with a lot of them, and we just go over kind of what they want, what they don't want.
Mhm.
Do they want breakfast? Do they want brunch? Do they want lunch? Do they want dinner? But the
Mhm.
first thing I always ask them is allergies, dietary restrictions, religious restrictions, like certain things like that. I need to know because that can hinder your menu.
Right.
And also, like if you want something specifically, but it has an allergy to it, now I either have to change it, remove it, or
Mhm.
create something else that that person can eat.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of they do come prepared, but a lot of times I have to sit down with them and be like, this might work, this might not work. And then
Mhm.
even when it comes to pairing dishes for events,
Mhm.
like you might want like Cajun style food, but then you're trying to have Chinese over here. It doesn't work,
Yep.
and that's like an OCD thing for me. But it's about pleasing the clients, but also it's about like bringing everything together to make them happy.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing with me. But a lot of times I do just have consultations with them, so that's the process. And sometimes it could take a day, sometimes it could take a week, it
Yeah.
could take a month. It really all just depends on what they want and kind of what they're trying to bring to their home or their event, and that's kind of the process for that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, when I asked you that, I just had a memory of when I was working with a restaurant because I used to do restaurant consultation, culinary consultation, make their menu and everything like that. And this particular restaurant, I'm not going to name any names, but they had a theme, you know what I mean? And the theme didn't exactly fit the menu items. It was kind of like there was no cohesion to the menu
Mm,
if you're trying to represent one thing and then we're just throwing any old meal on a menu. It just doesn't go together. But sometimes we have to put our thought aside just to make sure the client is happy. Sometimes it's a hurt piece on our feelings, but
it is.
yeah. Um, so just thinking about the different trends that we go through in the culinary space, what techniques or trends are you seeing right now that you really like?
There's so many. There's so many. That's the thing. Like I can't specifically pick because like each one is interesting in its own way.
hmm
And it's like, this might work. Let me try it.
Yes.
So but the biggest thing right now that I see a lot of people are doing is the brunch stuff. Like that's a big trend going around right now. I'm a big brunch person. I always have been. So I'm like, okay, this spot's doing lunch or
Mhm.
brunch, but this one's doing it too. What makes them different from them?
Yeah.
Is it the way they played? Is it the way they prepare? Is it like the presentation on the plate?
Right.
Even something as simple as the drinks, like what are they doing different? So that's a big trend that I see. Also, a lot of people are actually getting into bread making. Like
Yeah.
I noticed a big trend in that coming back. My brother even said the same thing. And then now people are starting into pasta making. I've seen that a little bit around. That's kind of is interesting to me. So it's
Mhm.
like, okay, I love doing bread. I love doing pastas, but brunch is the main one that I see taking off right now. That's like the main one that I see. That's bringing people in.
Yeah, I feel like I attribute the whole fresh made, scratch made movement due to the pandemic because nobody can really go out to a restaurant to get those things made for them. The shelves were empty. I remember I still have a video of me going to the store, to the supermarket to get a little thing of spaghetti so I can make spaghetti for dinner. And there was no pasta on the shelves. So I think during that time, everybody had time to sit down and learn, how to do these things, make fresh pasta, make fresh bread during that time. And now we're all learning that it's actually better for your body because there's no preservatives in what you're making at home. So
Right.
yeah. So then my next question is what is good food to you? What does that mean?
Good food to me, I would say is just I know it's gonna sound crazy, but it's made from the heart.
That does
You
not
know,
crazy at all.
I was some people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, made from the heart means you take time. You take your time. You enjoy what you do. I don't care if you're a home cook. I don't care if you're a 5-star, 2-star, whatever type of chef.
Mhm.
If you're if you make your food in just irritation or anger, like sometimes that's the way we release our stress.
Yeah,
But something about when you take your time and you're smiling and you're laughing and everything smells great and then you taste it, it's like this is wonderful.
yeah,
And even just the even when you go to a restaurant, like certain places, like just that service, that smell, that taste, like hi, even something is hi, how are you doing? I hope you're okay,
yes.
having a great day.
Hmm.
Thank you for coming in. Like
Hmm.
that makes food a lot more flavorful to me.
Yeah,
Like even like of course we're picky on certain things.
yeah,
But even still like that's what good food means to me. Like when you can come in and you leave with a smile.
mhm,
So I brought that to my life and I try to reciprocate that to other people.
right.
So that's what good food means to me.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Made with emotion, but good emotion.
Yes, because you can most definitely taste it when somebody is not happy and they made you a plate of food. You're like,
Burnt. This is kind of gritty. What is this?
right. So
Yeah.
with Smoking Roses, how do you feel that you would be scaling up your business? Because I know I just found out this morning that today was your first day back in school to get another degree.
Yes, it is.
So, what exactly is the vision going forward for Smoking Roses?
So honestly, I would say I love the personal route. I do like I wouldn't say specifically like be one chef for like a family. I
Mm-hmm.
want to, go to different environments, different homes, and even somebody who feels like they can't afford that type of experience, I'm gonna bring it to you. Let me bring it to you. Let me give you that elegance that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So like traveling, meeting different families, different people, even in commercial settings like businesses, warehouse, anything you can bring that vibe to.
Yeah.
But the personal route, I would love to do it. I wanted to become a yacht chef, but
Oh,
but I know that's a lot.
okay.
That's a lot. So right now, I would say the personal route, but life can take me in any direction. But I want to hit
Yeah.
that personal route pretty hard, and I know some people are still kind of picky, in homes, and I still want to at least try to bring
Yeah.
that personal route where I can come in, give you the time that you enjoy, and
Mhm.
have a have a great experience. But I would say a truck would be nice, but then also the truck would also be my prep kitchen.
Yeah.
Like that would be kind of like a traveling a personal chef service, sorry. So that's kind of like where I'm at with that, honestly.
Okay. All right. That's definitely scalable. And I'm going to just share something. I know people think I'm crazy when I say I see this for you, but I see you on a cooking show, competition cooking shows, whether it be Next Level Chef or what I'm really envisioning you in. I see you on Top Chef. So just keep your mind wide open because that's the vision that I'm getting.
I would actually love to go on one of those one day. Like I actually want to. I want because I love what I do.
Mhm.
I know there's chefs out here better than me. I know there's chefs learning, but to take my what I love to do and push it to the limit,
Mhm. That's right.
and that's what I want to bring to the table. Like, okay, especially especially knowing like the line that I come like from my brother and all the other chefs that graced me enough to teach me.
Yes.
Like, it's like, let me show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Like my push.
Right. Right. There's so many people who can pursue culinary, but there's only one person that's RJ that can
Yeah.
give what you give. So if there was a young person out there who has a dream to do personal dining services and open their own business, what advice do you have for them?
Never quit, never quit, but also take the criticism, good and bad. Like,
Mm.
that's the biggest thing. I've seen chefs just hit the ground just from one person, I don't like your food. So,
Right.
sorry to say it, but it's like one person might have an issue with your food, but 100 people might love your food.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like it's them. I'd rather take them 100 I loves versus them one or two no's,
Right.
cause your taste might not be everybody else's taste.
Yeah.
What I might bring to you, you might not like, but you might come back when I have a different menu and you might like what I have. Because
Hmm.
one thing is when you don't quit and then you take what you need and you do what you need to do, I would honestly say follow your dreams. Because if this is really what you love to do, long hours, cuts, burns, like it comes with the journey, but the journey is what makes it fun.
Yes.
And also find somebody who you can really really learn from. There's a bunch of great chefs out here, especially Richmond. I can only imagine. I haven't met as many as I
Yeah.
know I could, but even also talk. Like if you go to a restaurant and like you bring this food comes out, talk to the chef. Be like, chef, I'm upcoming. What advice can you give me?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they'll be grateful enough to give me one sentence.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And that's what I would say go for. That's what
Wow.
honestly what I would say take. And also have faith, pray about your journey, and
Mm,
understand that it's one step at a time.
absolutely. Wow. RJ, I just want to you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming
I
on.
thank you for you. Thank you. I'm blessed enough to have this opportunity to talk to you. So thank you for bringing me here.
Of course. And I pray that this is not the only time that we work together or conversate. I see big things for the future. So we here.
Right. Yeah, we right there.
So, thanks for joining me on this episode of Savory Moments. If today's conversation fed your spirit or sparked some inspiration, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend or two who loves food with heart. You can find full show notes, recipes, and more on the blog. Until next time, savor every moment, both in the kitchen and in life.